Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to this newest edition of Adeptus Podcastus. Joining me as always are Michael from Tactica Imperialis and EgoQueenAlexis. And joining us this week, a very special guest from the depths of the Black Library itself, we have none other than Josh Reynolds with us. So firstly, how is everyone doing?
I'm doing okay. I got a Seeker in my hand, and I am having fun painting it.
I've been better, been rather ill this week, but I'm getting there, so not too bad.
I'm doing fine. I'm busy working, so...
Oh, what are you working on?
Occasionally. What was that?
What are you working on? If we can have a sneak peek.
I'm actually working on the sequel to Hallowed Knight's Plague Garden.
Ooh.
Yep.
So, okay, now I need to do the original.
Yeah. I mean, not really. It's kind of a standalone, so, but, you know, it'd be nice if you bought it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been meaning to get into the AOS books properly. I just haven't had a chance, so I'll certainly try and get that when I'm not so crammed with exams.
I had my bank account, thank you.
Nice.
Perfect.
So, in the news this week, we have quite a few things. First thing, Games Workshop and Black Library are going to be bringing back Inferno. For those of you who are unaware, or too young to remember, Inferno... Yes. Inferno was one of the first publications by Black Library. It contained like an anthology of stories, comics, and that kind of thing. Had some really good stuff in it back in the day, like the comic series Obvious Tactics was one that comes to mind, along with the story Wrath of Khan by Bill King, which was awesome in itself. So, as someone who's old enough to remember this, I'm actually very excited.
And as someone who isn't, I'm very intrigued to see how it goes and how it's updated for the modern era. Because it could be really interesting to how much are they going to put into like proper short story anthologies, how much of it's going to be like comic strip stuff, because that'd be interesting to look into the artwork, particularly for Age of Sigmar. It's going to look into the Mortal Realms if they do that. I know Age of Sigmar on a 40k podcast, I'm fine, I'm going to shut up now. But it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle it and how closely it sticks to the original model.
Yeah, it'll definitely be something that I pick up.
Do we have a release date?
Just a watch this space at this moment.
Okay.
The Dreamers haven't told us yet. Shame.
Yeah, in a more model-related news, we've had at the time of recording, it's not out yet, but by the time you're watching this, the codex for the Tau Empire will be out, along with all of its shiny new set rules and interesting lore developments.
And close combat options.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to playing my Fast Army.
They brought back the donkey punch. Do you know?
And they made the fusion blades good. Like...
arguably good, and I stand by this. They're hitting just the same as a Power Fist, so...
I mean, yeah, but that's on a Tau. I'll take it. Shut up, sure, I'll take it. I played Farsight Enclaves. I was reading that preview and I was super excited to actually put my Farsight Enclaves back on the table, because I'd really fallen out of love with the Tau, because they were just so...
nerfed.
Bland and nerfed. Like, I could live with them being nerfed because they were very powerful in 7th, but jeez.
Yeah, they're almost nigh unplayable unless you have fusion commanders, and then they limited fusion commanders, which everybody freaked out about, until you realize that the Cold Star battlesuits put out the same amount of firepower. They lowered the points of the Riptide, the Ghostkeel, and all the normal battlesuits.
They also limited the Cold Star because it has the commander keyword, just for the reference.
Yep. They also increased the amount of actual battlesuits that you could put on the battlefield itself by lowering their points, not only of their war gear itself, but of the suits themselves. And they gave them some nice new stratagems and everything that the Tau could use. The Tau are still vulnerable, however, to alpha strikes.
And psychic, because they gave them absolutely no psychic defense.
Which is kind of a shame, because they could have given the crew psychers
A Kroot, the Nikasar wouldn't really work, I think, because they're entirely fleet-based. Or even the fact that, well, however they're getting about the galaxy now, they've probably been able to nick and retrofit something, even if it was just a one-off relic. But that is not the case. Obviously, they're not out at the time of recording, but I think they're going to be a solid mid-tier army. I don't think they're going to be knocking anybody at the top tier over without a skilled general. That's just my opinion, and I have nothing to back that up.
In competitive play, they do have a good amount of survivability, so they will actually play. I'm still unsure. I have their codex. I'm about it.
Yeah, I think that's like as fun as it is, and how much more of a flavorful development it is, and as much as the new Riptide looks so much better. And some of the traits and the weapon upgrades and the relics look really, really flavorful and interesting and usable. They're just not going to be Imperial soup, and they're just not going to be Inari for many, many obvious reasons, unless they're in the command of a very good general, I think.
Michael, just letting you know, Raw Blood Angels beat Imperial soup. Just for the record.
I now want some soup.
Soup is good.
But speaking of codices to be coming up in the future, we know at some point that the Drukhar are going to get their codex, and one thing I'm wondering, will they get a lot of their special characters that were taken out previous edition, like, Lady Malys or Asdrubal Vect?
Vect, Vat Malys, Sliskus, Sathanix, Karajuak. Am I missing anybody else?
Or will they go the way of the Doom of Malantai?
They already went the way of the Doom of Malantai.
Oh, they're still in the lore, at least.
But
the Doom is just referenced.
But speaking of Lady Malys, I just want to thank you, Josh, for putting Lady Malys in the Lucas the Trickster novel.
You're welcome.
That made my day to see that character. It's like, oh my god, it's Lady Malys. We haven't seen from her in ages, if ever.
Yeah, Malys is one of my favourite Drukhari characters. She's just so interesting. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Drukhari. I've made that abundantly clear, but she is one of my favourites.
You're perfectly welcome. I thought she'd be an interesting addition to the book. So,
yeah, actually, it's an interesting thing because Malys has no heart, and Lucas has one heart when he should have two. It's kind of an interesting parody. I'm sure that was probably intentional.
No, not a bit.
See, this is why we go too deep into the lore.
I'm going to be honest with you. I only wrote that book because of a bet. So
that is amazing.
What was the bet? Who was the bet with?
It is with someone who is no longer with Black Library, but it was mostly them saying, you don't like Space Wolves, so you probably can't write a book about them.
Please tell me it's Matt Ward. Please tell me Matt Ward is no longer writing.
It's not. It's not.
Oh.
So I said, okay, yeah, sure. I'll see if I can do it.
One novel later.
I think you did a good job on it, so yeah, you can clearly write it.
So when can we expect the Logan Grimnar novel?
I cannot for the life of me get into the Space Wolves fluff. I've tried and tried and tried. I can't help but shake the feeling that they are just too comical.
I kind of get what you're saying. I've read the Space Wolf Omnibus, the Ragnar one, and that's good. It's really quite fun, and Ragnar is awesome, particularly in the first novel. But doing a 30k fluff is just like, maybe this is Thousand Suns bias speaking, which it probably is, but I can't get behind the Space Wolves and root for them the same way. Like, the whole Alexis Nebula business with the Alpha Legion, if the Wolves had died, I probably wouldn't have cared. And I think that's probably the saddest condemnation I can ever give.
But see, I've always thought it's the opposite way, that they're not funny enough.
Yeah, okay, so the audiobooks that I've listened to, they make their commanders seem a little bit too... They make the commanders seem a little bit too dumb and trying to be taken seriously. But I feel like if they were a more comical Space Marine chapter, that they would be a lot better.
Yeah, maybe you've either got to go fully serious, battle-hardened murder machine, or full-on drunken comical memes. I think they're just stuck in a bit of a limbo.
In fairness, I remember when reading through Lucas that one scene where he lays out all those Drukhari corpses in that rune saying "laugh," and it's like, what does that say? And a kraken just bursts out from underneath. That was funny.
Yeah, that was. I was trying to figure out a way to use that kraken later on.
Okay, that's awesome.
Because, of course, there just have to be more krakens when there's Space Wolves involved.
Well, of course.
Yeah. But that was the whole point of writing the book, really, was just to have a couple of scenes with a kraken.
Good enough. Good enough.
That's great.
Now, I'm still wondering, who's going to be doing the honours of writing a Ghazghkull Thraka novel?
Oh, God, please.
I want my Ghazghkull Thraka origin novel. I will pay good money for it.
See, if I had to put money up, I would suggest it's either going to be David Annandale because of the Yarrick stuff, or it's Guy Haley.
I would have had Phil Kelly as an outside bet.
I do like Phil Kelly's work.
That could be it.
Yeah, because I've always associated... Sorry, go on.
I said, all I know is it's not me. So.
Yeah, I've always associated Phil with the Orcs because he wrote the 4th edition Orc Codex, which was the first 40k book I ever bought. So Phil Kelly and the Orcs are kind of synonymous to me.
I do have a question, though. In the current timeline, M42, with Ghazghkull have fled and Guilliman being back, is Yarrick still alive?
I have no idea.
And if so, how?
He's too stubborn to die.
Well, he was going to retire at the Second War, and then he's lived another 60 years to the Third War, and then we've time jumped, 200 years?
You are aware that rejuvenate treatments are a thing.
Rejuvenative treatments are a thing, but according to like a few other books, the rejuvenative treatments only do so much. They don't prevent the effects of aging. Yarrick is definitely showing the effects of aging. I'm wondering if they just keep him in stasis during these space travels.
Or it could be that he's still alive because the Orcs think he's still alive.
That is equally possible.
Oh my god.
When Games Workshop first turned around and said to you guys, we're bringing Guilliman back, what was your reaction?
Speaking as one of the authors who was not told about that in any way, shape, or form, my reaction was, oh, okay.
How am I going to work that into my next project?
Yeah, my thing was, am I going to have to worry about this? Oh, no? Okay, well, good luck.
Yeah, because obviously Guilliman... I don't know if Guilliman himself or the manner of Guilliman's return has been... what's the word I'm looking for here?
Expected.
Divisive.
I liked his return.
I genuinely don't pay attention to what people say on the internet about it, so I just kind of assumed everybody was happy.
There's more salt about it than a Magic tournament.
Did those get particularly salty? It's been like 15 years since I've been to one of those. I'm old.
I can sympathise, Josh. I mean, when hearing Michael saying his first 40k book was a 4th edition one, and I'm looking at my 2nd edition, so it's like...
Bear in mind, that was the day 5th edition came out as well. It wasn't when it came out, it was when it came out.
I feel even older now.
To be fair, the Orc Codex was like 6 months before 5th edition, so it's not that bad, but...
Remleiz, you're just an old inquisitor, it's fine.
I'm still waiting for them to update certain models that have been in use since 1996.
Oh, like the entire army that I have?
No, yours wasn't released until 1997.
No, they're dated for 96.
But they weren't released until 97. It's the sisters
More
you're talking
than
about.
Okay.
Of course I'm talking about the sisters.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a good salt analogy. There's more salt about Guilliman than a Sisters of Battle player. That's probably
No, not even close. Not even close. Don't even try to compare those two.
Okay, fine. Returning to codices, the next codex that will be heading our way, obviously this is not the Drakari, it is the Necrons. And they're coming out in alongside / with the Forgebane boxed game and the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Not Baby Knights contained within.
Yeah, the Baby Knights look so cool.
Yeah, the Armiger Warglaves, which are very interesting in themselves. But I want to focus on a little bit of lore that we got at the same time. We got a bit of a breakdown on this mysterious substance that we all know as Blackstone. Now, Blackstone has been around for a long time. This is the stuff that makes up, well, the Blackstone fortresses. But it also is what made the pylons on Cadia. Now, they actually tried to science this, and I don't quite know how much I want to run with it as a physicist, but I'm just gonna. Blackstone can be polarized, which in physics terms means it can make its point in one direction or another with its charge, spins, whatever. If you polarize it one way, it's a warp nullifier, and that's how the pylons were made, so they can nullify the warp. If you polarize it the other way, you get a warp amplifier, and that's what the Blackstone fortresses are made from.
Also, keep in mind the Blackstone fortresses can come to life and magic themselves to a certain point in space and destroy things.
Well, there's only one left now, isn't there?
Yeah, Huron's got it.
No, there's one in the Imperium, and Huron's got the other one, doesn't he?
No, the one that was caught in the captured by the Imperium self-destructed. Along with the other, along with 3 others in Abaddon's possession, and Abaddon took the other 2, fled into the warp, gave one to Huron, and then one crashed into Cadia.
And then rage quit Cadia.
Oh, you rage quit first.
Insert planet broke before the guard did meme here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have you know that those Cadians lasted longer on that planet than the Black Templar did. The Cadians were still holding their lines while the Black Templar were running.
Being helped by Xenos, no less.
You know what? A lot of people like try to take that out, and they're like, that's the reason why it's bad. Black Templar were helping Xenos and yada, yada, yada. Black Templar have worked with the Eldar before. Like, that's a thing.
When was that?
I will get you the source on that after this.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to mention on the Blackstone is what the reason Forgebane is the reason Forgebane is happening. The Mechanicus want Blackstone because they basically want to knit the Great Rift shut. So they basically want to build a length of pylons across the Great Rift.
Sorry, when you said knit the Great Rift shut, I just imagine this scene like in Space Wars, just have a giant like robot like knitting needles made of Blackstone, just knitting it shut like that.
In a metaphorical sense, that's kind of it.
But not with a gigantic robot, though.
No, not with a gigantic.
Brooks.
Can we just give credit to the Sister of Silence that figured it all out? And the custodian that helped her?
Is that in Watches of the Throne?
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. I haven't had a chance to read that one. But yeah,
That's an amazing book.
Yeah, the way they describe it on Warhammer Community is basically build a new network of pylons along the length of the Cicatrix Maledictum and turn them on. Basically, like stitching a wound closed, except with a lot more chanting and potentially dooming the universe to annihilation by thirsting gods. Eloquent.
So a typical
Hey guys,
Tuesday in 40K.
Look, we fixed the warp. Abaddon comes in. Hey guys, you finished my work for me. Turns it the other way and opens it completely up.
Yeah, they've got to be careful that they don't get access to the polarizer or that Blackstone can't be repolarized, otherwise there will be trouble.
Well, is it going to be even more trouble when those NIDs showed up 60 million years ago in the War in Heaven?
What?
Yeah.
Look, we don't talk about the War in Heaven because that's the most inconsistent thing in the fluff right now.
And there's 2 of them.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
It's mentioned in Devourer. Like, when the NIDs broke into this Necron 2 tomb complex, the Cryptek activated, like, some chrono device, and it sent an entire horde of NIDs back in time to the War in Heaven.
Oh.
And then they got wiped out.
Lovely.
was like,
Oh,
and part of me was thinking that was extremely stupid, because if it went back in time too far, then they could have been the Necron tier could have been wiped out by the Nids before they even became the Necrons.
and then you have a paradox.
Yeah, and the entire universe explodes, and the Deceiver sits there laughing.
That's actually a question that I want to ask. Will we ever get a book that explains the war in heaven like better than the codexes do? Because the codexes are all over the place when it comes to it.
Are you asking me?
Yep.
You asking the wrong guy. Oh, I have no idea. I think it'd be interesting, but that's who knows.
Yeah, the way sort of explain, sort of hand wave away the fact that we don't know is because, well, it was 60 million years ago, and the only ones that remember are the old ones who are dead, the Catan who were shattered, and the Necrons who have all gone bloody senile. So I don't expect we'll ever get the Necron war in heaven fleshed out at all.
I think it wouldn't be out of the question if you ever got any books from a Necron point of view that you might see glimpses. But there's no plans to do any books like that I know of, so...
Then again, Black Library didn't tell you they were releasing a Primarch, so...
Yeah, I know. So, they don't tell me nothing. There's, I am so far down the totem pole that any stuff like this comes out, I don't hear about it until like a month after it happens.
Well, that's good enough. Means you get the same sort of reaction that we all get, except we do it via the medium of a podcast, and you get to just actually talk to your colleagues and be like, what?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how it sounds.
Well, this just happened. What happened? Katie exploded. Oh. Huh. I like that place.
I'm just imagining there's like a Black Library WhatsApp or Discord where you guys just pop in like, so, ex-author, about that thing you just did. Just have a big, long discussion about it, or you're planning out a series together. I bet that would be quite an interesting thing to be a fly on the wall on if it ever existed.
That would be really handy to have. It's too bad we don't have one. Or maybe they do, and they just haven't told me about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a little bit of other bits and bobs, from the Gamma Trade Show preview, we have the return of Kill Team, which could go one of two ways, either really well or really badly.
Yay, I hope Sisters are an interrupted launch. They're probably not going to, because GW tends to forget about them. Like they did with the original Kill Team.
Would you like some more salt?
Did Kill Team go away?
Shadow War Armageddon was the essential Kill Team, and it's not even played by like anybody anymore.
There was a Kill Team in 7th edition, but that was a while ago. I don't think it really took off. Then there was Shadow War.
Yeah, it wasn't the Kill Team in 7th, it was Tau and Raven Guard, wasn't it?
It was. There was a Tau Raven Guard based Kill Team thing where you could get some actually relatively good value Fire Warriors versus Tat Marine box set if you ever bothered to pick it up. I didn't, and the only Kill Team I ever played was a complete homebrew mission, which was actually a really, really, really fun battle report. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how Kill Team plays out and whether people actually pick it up. I mean, sure, there'll be people in the comments like, oh, I played tons of Kill Team. It was really good to play, let's say, on a lunch break, or just like if I have mates over, it would be a good, I nearly said pre-drinks. That would be a terrible example. God, that would be a really bad example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done 3 campaigns of Kill Team for Shadow War Armageddon, and I can tell you one thing. I played Grey Knights. They were massively overpowered.
Well, yes, they're Grey Knights. They're designed to be massively overpowered.
3 taps.
And speaking of Shadow War Armageddon, seeing as like how it got a far superior sequel with the newest edition of Necromunda, we've also got the reveal of House Van Saar.
Oh, yes.
Who look absolutely gorgeous.
They do
Because
look
everything
pretty.
in Necromunda does.
except for the biker gangs. I really don't like how they did the girls. It matches how they did them, but I don't like that aesthetic. So that's just me saying I don't like their aesthetic.
The 80s punk rock aesthetic.
No, I like punk rock. That's the thing. That is a little bit
80s punk rock aesthetic. That's their gimmick.
Yeah, but it feels like they went a little overboard with it. They honestly look like a roller derby team, and I just put my paintbrush into my iced tea.
Duncan would be proud. Speaking of which, he did Alexis's intro, and Michael hasn't yet.
Would you shut up about that already?
Never.
Oh, and since we're actually talking about Gamma, I think I should probably mention it. The goldfish thing is happening. I feel like I need to mention it just because that goldfish is such a meme, but yes, we've got the Ironet Deepkin. They're probably going to be some sort of Cthulhu elves. That's going to be really fun. We don't know at this moment.
They're just Dark Elf Corsairs.
I'm okay with this.
No, not time to go on air with full rant, time and place. Not now. Sorry.
Save it up, hold it up. Just...
Yeah, I'll be making my own video on the Ironet Deepkin, I'm sure, so I'll mention it there. But, when's Adepticon? Sorry?
Next week.
Next week. Yeah, so there'll be another studio preview then, and there'll be more to discuss on the next podcast, and you'll be loaded up with details, because did you know, guys, Alexis is going to Adepticon?
Yep, I am going there. I'm going to hang out with a bunch of other YouTubers. We're going to play a bunch of games, get a bunch of drinks, have a bunch of fun, and if I'm going there strictly to play against my fans, it'll be awesome. Just check it out.
I'm still waiting for you to have your game against Wargamer Girl.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
That went full feud on Twitter.
Actually, I just got a War Machine army handed to me.
Ew.
I can battle her in her own game. I'm gonna get my ass stomped.
We don't talk about War Machine on this podcast.
I like War Machine.
Hey, if I'm not allowed to talk about Age of Sigmar, you are not talking about bloody War Machine. Knock it off.
Okay. See, do you see how mean they are? This is how they always treat me.
They are quite mean. That is very nasty.
See?
Hey, War Machine is a game that has alligators wearing hats. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know anything else about it other than there's alligators wearing hats, but...
Yeah, you guys put hats on your Seraphon Age of Sigmar army, though. You can have an entire army of... Well,
but that requires me to do something.
You know what? I like you. You remind me of me. I like doing things.
No, I'm a very low maintenance type of gamer.
What do you collect out of interest, if at all?
Right now, I am trying to do a Xanagor army for Age of Sigmar.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Michael just exploded.
That's the broken flavor of the month from what I hear. I've heard that Zangor Zinch is the most OP flavor of the month. I know, sure, that's not the reason, but I've heard so many horrible things about Zangor Zinch.
No, mostly I picked it because they look like birds, so...
Yeah, I mean, fine, I know you didn't do it for that reason, but...
Your reasoning is terrific.
Speaking of birds, anyone heard about the rumours that the Kroot are apparently going to get their own codex?
I did. Primarchs. I'm okay with
I
it.
heard that, and I'm taking it with about a fistful of salt.
Not an Alexis-sized piece of salt.
Ha.
No, but I don't know. It would be really fun to get a Kroot codex, but I think that just because they have to get every faction that used to exist into 8th edition proper with its own codex, I think we're going to be waiting. Same reason why I don't think, despite what Alexis says, we're not going to get a World Eater or an Emperor's Children codex anytime soon, because they have to get everybody else up to date, before they start bringing in new stuff.
I can almost guarantee it. If Gene Silicult are getting getting another codex, I can almost guarantee the Kroot should.
Well, the Custodians and the Gene Stealer cults were in 7th edition with a codex. Therefore, they'll get a codex in 8th edition. That's the difference.
Yeah, except, 4 units doesn't make a good codex.
They buffed the Custodian one, so they can buff the Gene Stealer cult one.
Yeah, Dawn Eagle jet bikes are awesome. The only good thing in that codex.
I have heard they're rather good.
Sorry, still salty about that, and I play them because I actually kind of like them on the tabletop. I'm just kind of mad that I paid $40 for a codex.
Are you salty about that, or are you salty about the fact that you completely miscalled them?
No, I didn't. I knew that they would be okay. I don't think they're tournament worthy still. I think the shield captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike is tournament worthy, but their army as a whole is not that good. Melta spam would get rid of it relatively quickly, or any guard army
gets rid of everything. That's not a valid excuse.
And I'm just sitting here waiting for Codex Sons of Malys.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2071.
Malys best god. Malys best god.
Do you have a Malys body pillow or something?
Only the one you sent.
Okay, good.
I'm surprised you put Queethal on the other side, though.
Ha! Anyway.
Anyway, indeed.
So is there anything else in the news, or are we jumping into the questions?
Unless there's anything that's not particularly news-based, there's any novel that's come out that's worth discussing. We've already discussed Lucas at a little bit of length, but if there's any other releases that you've got your hands on that are worth discussing or that you have questions about or just want to bring up, because I don't think in the last 2 weeks there's been that much hit the shelves. I think Ashes of Prospero has.
That reminds me, the Black Library Live event will be happening on the 16th of June, which I believe Josh will actually be a part of.
Will I?
Well, you advertised for it.
Oh.
You are the Black Library equivalent of me.
You're advertised along with John French, Dan Abner, Nick Kime, and Phil Kelly.
Oh. Okay. Guess I'll be there then.
And you'll also
be a spirit animal.
You'll also be able to get some pre-release books, such as the new Mephiston novel and the limited edition for Vulcan, Lord of Drakes. So someone go down there and buy it for me. And before anyone asks, I'd go myself, but I can't because of my spine. So, moving on.
Yeah, I'd be tempted, but I'm still going to be on the wrong side of the channel.
So,
I guess I could maybe go.
You can interact with Josh.
No.
Okay, let's move on to the questions this week. Once I finish the Seeker head, so I can put it down. I am totally not just buying time right now so I can finish the detail on its face. Anyway.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Damn it, I put it back in my freaking iced tea again. I'm still drinking that.
You see, this is why you don't podcast while distracted, because the last time I podcast whilst hobbying, I glued my commander's legs on backwards. That was just I remember we were doing it. I was building my Shasta Waracon, and I got to the end of the podcast and I started painting. I was like, hang on a minute. Because the legs are different on Commander Crisis suits. It was because the upper legs and the lower legs look slightly different to the regular Crisis suits. I got completely confused. Put the legs on backwards, and it went on fine. And I was like, hang on.
The first question is actually something that I really like, because I get to bring up my favorite Ultramarine character.
Aeonid Thiel?
Ghazghkull.
When Tau Crisis battlesuits fight, do they spend more time flying or on the ground? The answer is they usually drop down to the ground and then take to the air.
Yeah, generally they'll come in by Manta Strike. Sometimes they'll be shooting before they hit the ground, but generally they will hit the ground, and then they use their jetpacks to hop. That's the gameplay mechanics, right? They don't have the ability to just fly a la something with wings?
They can sustain flight similar to that of a jump pack sustaining flight.
But that's not flying, that's hovering / jumping.
Yeah, well, it was good enough for Kenzo Sicarius to grab a jump pack, fly between them, slash them apart, recharge his batteries by a Tau battlesuit, and then keep flying. Even though other things have shown us that jump packs use promethium and not plasma coils. But I'm assuming that his was special.
Because Kato Sicarius.
Because I, Kato Sicarius. Anyway.
Can I just say, after reading Fall of Damnos, I was so happy that Sicarius had his ass handed to him by the undying Necron Lord. But then the Necron Lord got punched in the face by a dreadnought and died.
Actually, I think I saw someone on Twitter, it might have been you, Ren, who said, has there ever been a novel where Kato Sicarius is likeable?
Yeah.
I don't mind him. I thought he was funny. He's like how Matt Ward sees Space Marines.
Alexis, that novel you mentioned, was that the same one where you had that female Tau try and guilt trip a Space Marine, and Sicarius comes over and just punches her?
Oh my god, I freaking love that novel. I can't remember which one it was, though. The problem with Black Library is there's so many books to keep track of.
Yep.
I gotta go through my list and check, but yeah, the Space Marines looking at the Tau innocents, and they're just like, we probably shouldn't kill them. Like, they're completely harmless. And
I don't know what to be more surprised about.
Sicarius just throws her to the ground, just crushes her head, and keeps walking.
Now, you see, I don't know what to be more surprised about. Sicarius being that much of a dick, or a Space Marine having a conscience who isn't a salamander.
Yeah. Okay, question from Michael. Has there ever been a Tau hybrid? Also, why do the cast forbid it? Why do the cast forbid it? And does the Enclave also forbid it? I think they mean intercast breeding.
Yeah, because when you say hybrid, my first reaction is Genestealer hybrid, and that has definitely happened. That has happened. As for why there's no intercast breeding, right, this might require a little bit of a history lesson. Please correct me if I get this wrong. Long time ago, on a small planet far, far away that called itself Tau, there were 4 main tribes, ish. And there were 4 sort of main groups. Theo, Shas, Por, and Kor, the main tribes. They would become the caste we know today. Ish. I'm really, really paraphrasing here, so trust me, this is going to be a bit wrong. They were completely self-centered tribes. They didn't really talk to each other. They were warring with each other constantly, for the most part, if not all the time, and certainly a lot. So there will be a lot of things in their own gene code that will be uniquely theirs. So, for example, the air caste back in day could fly. They had actual membranous wings and could fly.
Glide.
But glide, fly, details. I know I made a point about this battles earlier, but details for the point of the argument. The caste might, at that point, have become so different from another that they could not breed. It is possible that because of the way they were when the Ethereals arrived, they could not breed, or they maybe tried after the reunification under the Tau of Ar, and it went so horrifically wrong, the Ethereals just put a massive nope on it. So that might be why. As for the Enclaves, well, aside from the no Ethereals, they kind of still follow the greater good and the Tau Var's tenets, just without Ethereals. So they will pretty much follow the same rules for the most part, and that will include intercaste breeding, because let's be honest, Farsight's a bit of a Firecast Puritan. The fact Ovesa has a battlesuit is really weird, considering it's the Farsight Enclaves, because Farsight is very much a Puritan with the Firecast.
Now, how long until we get the Taurus heresy?
We discussed that last time. No.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Also, one of the other things, aside from being evolutionarily different from each other and being incapable of breeding, the different castes might have developed different methods of breeding that can only happen between the castes. We don't
Bear in mind,
know.
science allows breeding that sort of when it shouldn't be compatible. Breeding can happen scientifically. That's just science.
Yeah.
See Ligers.
Although,
The all DNA splicing that ever was.
how do the Tau breed? Is it similar to humans where they just
We don't know.
go at it?
So let's not go there.
I mean, I'm still wondering. Well, I've seen
I just-
artwork of this, but do Tau have breasts?
No.
Like, as far as I can tell, no.
I just find it
But-
funny the way that the Kroot actually breed, because this is what Robbie McNiven posted on Twitter. So the male secretes fluid from his palms, rubs it into the back of the female, and then the female starts vomiting up egg-like polyps.
Yeah.
Oh
sounds-
dear God, I'm glad I haven't eaten yet.
What? I mean, you don't. That's not how you breed.
Ah.
You see, I can't say what I'm gonna say because it's terrible, and we'd never have another guest again.
We probably never have another podcast again, knowing some of the crap you say.
I do not say things that bad.
Actually, no. Remleiz has probably said more ban-worthy things now that I think about it.
I'm only uninhibited because of my medication. So next question.
Okay. Question for Remleiz. Is it possible that some of the Space Marines and Grey Knights are Space Marines, might inherit Chaos taint? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the Blood Angels, for instance.
Well, not to mention the fact that... excuse me. I already did a video about how the taint of chaos can be passed on genetically and people can live without them knowing, and it gets triggered later on in life. So because, let's be honest, Space Marines were normal people at one point in time in their lives, they could have inherited it from their parents or their grandparents. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For Grey Knights, it's a harder matter because I'm pretty sure with all the rigorous purity checks they undergo, they make sure there's no taint whatsoever. So if there's even the slightest chance of a taint, they go, oh, he's tainted, throw him in the bin and set it on fire.
And then to put it through the shredder just to make double, triple sure.
Yeah.
Grey Knights get no taint.
For goodness sakes.
Anyway. Didn't stop that one from getting that gene stealer. Just saying. Could Ferrus Manus come back as a machine spirit or a Necron? I think they mean as pile of living metal, similar to that of a Necron.
I have a video of that scheduled up to go live in about 2 weeks, so wait until then.
Also, Josh, feel free to answer these questions. They are really amusing.
The way I'd want to answer them, I'd probably just get in trouble. So,
See,
Yeah,
I'm not the only one.
Well, it's funny, like the way this sort of goes is the questions are like 50% honest lore-based answer, 50% memes. So you generally can't go wrong one way or the other unless you say something that is genuinely deplorably bannable.
No.
yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
I mean, when we had Gav on the podcast, he confirmed that, Guilliman X of Rain was canon, so...
That still makes me want to bounce my head off a table.
Look, the thing is I'm just gonna lie and make stuff up. So, do you want me to lie and make stuff up?
Yes.
Okay.
It would be greatly amusing.
Okay,
No,
what was
like-
the question again?
Slip in some truths in there, too.
Oh, I will. You won't be able to tell what's what.
And the forums
Right.
are just going to be like, that one time on that one podcast, Josh Reynolds said this. Does this mean this is now canon? I don't. We're just like, guys.
According to people in the Black Library, I get into a lot of trouble on forums anyway. So,
Is that for saying too much or for just saying stupid stuff?
just for saying too much stupid stuff.
That works. That works.
All right, Josh Reynolds is my spirit animal from now on.
Yeah, I feel like there is definitely a kindred spirit between the two of you because Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right. Here's the next question. How was Fulgrim capable of killing Ferrus Plothole Manus? Very simple, with a sword.
Demons. That is all.
No, actually, the demon let go of him momentarily, so Fulgrim was the one that killed him.
What? No, wait, hang on.
No.
That's not right.
Yes, it is. The demon swung the sword and then let go long enough for Fulgrim to actually pull away if he really wanted to, because he's a Primarch and everything.
Hang on.
And then
No,
put back over his mind afterwards, and then showed him that he was the one who did it, and that's why Fulgrim fell to oblivion momentarily.
Wait, what? No, I thought it went that basically he sort of he slipped, mentally slipped. The demon took over, and the next thing Fulgrim knew, Faris was dead.
From what I recall, he went to Kit. He forced himself to stop, but the demon forced him to do it.
Yeah, the demon sort of took over, killed Manus, and then let him go to make Fulgrim snap.
Fulgrim snapped because he was the one that did it.
I thought Fulgrim snapped because Ferris was dead. That's why he snapped.
Please get a quote on that, because as far as everything I've ever seen, I don't...
No, the way I interpreted that scene was he swung the sword. He was responsible. He could have fought off the demon.
Comments? Go read Fulgrim and get a quote from that fight that just maybe helps clarify it, because I've not seen the full quote.
Now keep in mind, this is my favorite book. It's why I love Fulgrim so much, is actually because of all the psychology that goes into it.
You mean his complete lack of it, because my god, he broke like a...
That was also a book that had a person make a painting out of poo and blood, wasn't it?
It was bodily secretions. That's just one part of it. Stop focusing on the poop.
I said blood as well.
You know, that someone actually did, but like, that's not weird. That's the thing someone actually did. It was in the New York Museum of Art or something.
Yes, I am fully aware of that.
America!
Everybody acts like that was such a big, weird thing. It's like that happens like every year.
Like, you always get crazy people that paint things out of bodily secretions.
America!
That's not just American. In fact, I think the artist for that painting was French.
Actually, that surprises me even less. I'll be honest.
It's like whenever somebody says, oh, look at the American burger that America made, and then you actually look it up, and it's from Canada.
Yeah, American.
Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised about the French thing, though, because the French education system is basically just throw crap at a wall and see what sticks, so...
Kind of like that painting.
I'm just saying, it's not weird.
It's not weird. Like, I fully agree, it's not weird. That scene was very poetic. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that entire book because it was really good.
I think everyone agrees Fulgrim was a very good book. I don't know if it's the best of the first 5, but it's probably maybe the most iconic. I don't know.
Anyway, next question. If Vulcan from Star Trek were... nope, I'm not going into...
No, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no. You've opened a real can of worms now, Mr. Reynolds.
Okay.
We haven't done this.
If the Vulcans from Star Trek were in the 40K universe, would the Emperor become friends with them, and will Alexis and the Chaos Gods fall miserably and turn into chaos?
If he saw the Vulcans, he'd just look at their pointy ears and think Eldari.
Boom.
Yeah. No, they'd be dead.
Yeah, I mean, basically what happened to Vulcan in the Star Trek canonicity would pretty much happen again with a few minor exceptions involving virus bombs.
As for me falling to chaos, I didn't choose it. It just happened.
I'm surprised the question wasn't more, what would happen if Vulcan went to Vulcan and met a Vulcan?
That's too meta.
Oh my god.
Would you have the Vulcan?
Actually, that's a question that just crossed my mind now. If GW/Black Library could get the license, would you want to write a crossover with another universe, and if so, which?
God, no.
I just thought I'd ask.
Unless it's like Smokey and the Bandit or something. No.
Well, in fairness, you can fit that into a Dark Future storyline.
Yeah,
I had to ask.
I'll do that. But no.
I had to ask. It just crossed my mind.
I mean, Warhammer is just too OP, and the only things that can actually compete with it are things that are even more OP, like Adamu.
Speaking of Dark Future, as some of you may know, I ordered a second edition Sisters of Battle Codex and got given a Dark Future novel instead for some reason, because I got the same ISBN number. The one that has Elvis Presley as a bounty hunter. Yeah, but going for that book, there's also a cult dedicated to Tzeentch.
Yeah.
So it's like, hang on a minute. This is set in 1997 with Elvis as a bounty hunter and Tzeentch is in it. I'm so confused.
Welcome to 40K.
Like, this is not official, but I've always believed that the Dark Future is just pre-40K.
You know, I can fully agree to that. I have some of the Dark Future books.
But is it canon with Chainsaw Warrior? It was funny actually when Remleiz was doing his Chainsaw Warrior video, and we actually sat down, and it was just after 8th edition came out, and we sat down and we looked at what we knew about the old age of Terror and trying to piece it all together. That was a really fun discussion.
It's like Chainsaw Warrior. It fits. It fits.
It just about fits.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
god.
much the story of 40K, is everything just about fitting.
Yeah. As lore and theory YouTubers, we're very aware of it just about fits.
But the question is the Chainsaw Warrior the Emperor? Real question.
No, the real question is Elvis Presley the Emperor?
No, he's the king.
Yeah, but sometimes you get promoted from king to emperor.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
All right, Elvis Presley is the God Emperor of mankind. You heard it here.
That's
Oh
canon.
no.
That's canon.
No,
100%.
No. Urge to meme rising, must not meme. No.
Okay.
No. Just move on before I do something stupid.
Karn the Betrayer versus Lucas the Trickster. Who would win, and why would it be no one?
Khan wins for about 5 seconds and then gets frozen in stasis because Lucas.
Until, Tzeentch goes, "Hey, Karn, you're free again. Go after the Dark Angels again." That was fun.
Well, it depends how long the stasis effect lasts.
I thought it was, I've only ever read it once. I thought it was permanent.
Yeah.
Oh, and before anybody actually goes, "Alexis, Karn is with Korn. God, don't you know lore?" I'm making a joke at how Karn uses the Blood Mist, which is magic, which is very convenient for his teleporting powers, which is very similar to what Tzeentch would do.
This is when he was hulking up, wasn't it?
This is in the Trial of Azrael book, which was
I thought you were
interesting.
talking about Shroud of Night when you were complaining that he was just too much Hulk smash.
No, he was just a war boss. You could replace that entire thing with Ghazghkull Traka, and nothing would change.
So you're saying
absolutely nothing would change.
So are you saying that Celestine would give Ghazghkull head?
God damn it.
Get out. Get out.
Anyway, next question. A question for Josh Reynolds.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, we asked the comments asked us to tell them we were having a Black Library guest on, so we did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
By far, my favorite character is the Palatine Phoenix. Was primary iterator, but
Pike.
Yes, Pike. There we go. Given that she explicitly works with multiple Primarchs, is there any chance of seeing her in other Horus Heresy books?
That would depend entirely on if anybody else writing Horus Heresy wanted to use her.
Fair enough.
I'm not writing any, so...
See, that Discord channel is looking better and better, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like I've just come up with... I feel like I just accidentally made the best pitch to Black Library ever. Just create a Discord for the writers.
It's if somebody wanted to use her, that'd be great. But I don't expect anybody to, so...
Yeah, if you guys are if let's say you're taking a character from someone else's series, or you're both separately working on the same character, e.g. a Primarch or whatever, do you guys talk to each other about what the character's like so that they are consistent, or do you sort of try and play it by ear and see how much they line up at the end?
It depends on the writers. I generally try to, when Ian St. Martin used Fabius Bile for Lucius the Eternal, we talked about what he was going to do with Fabius Bile and whether or not we could kind of have little Easter eggs about the two books in each other's books. We could have little mentions about what was going on and what was happening and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to, and I apologize for this because this is going to start a huge flame war.
Oh, God.
Could Fabius Bile make a female Astartes?
Oh, God, why did you do that?
I do not
Tumbleweed.
know. It's one of those things. I'm gonna guess he could because he cloned Primarchs, but it kind of goes against his whole purpose. Like his purpose is to make a better humanity. So there's not really a lot of reason for him to make female Space Marines. He doesn't want Space Marines to breed, basically.
Well, doesn't he see Space Marines as inferior anyway?
Not inferior, just as a dead end.
Yeah, because you notice he calls his, what are they called in-game, enhanced warriors, the new man. They're still Astartes, after all, but they are the new man. They're not...
And they can breed.
That's terrifying.
That's actually really terrifying.
But do his enhanced Space Marines, can they also piss acid?
See, these are the real questions.
Space Marines could. Frankly.
I knew they could spit it.
Look, it's a bodily secretion, and it stands to reason that if you just reroute a couple of tubes,
you can make a painting out of it.
You could.
Yeah, and going back to the whole talking with other writers, I'm guessing, given the fact that you were doing Clone Lord, you may well have had a word with James Swallow, considering he came up with the Fabius Bile clone thing.
Yes, actually, I talked to him a couple times about it. Mostly just that I was making sure it was okay that I kind of, snatched a few of his ideas.
To be fair, if you hadn't nicked it, people would have just been like, well, hang on, which is real?
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
it's probably better you did do that than not do it, because otherwise people just got confused.
Well, I mean, that for me, that's one of the points of working in a shared universe is tying all that crap together.
Yeah.
That Discord is looking better and better.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
It's if that stuff is there, you may as well try and tie it all together. And
Yeah, and it's funny with James because if I remember correctly, he wanted Bile dead.
Yeah.
Which I still find hilarious to this day. Is like he actually wanted to go out of his way and kill Fabius Bile and was told, nope, .jpg, you are not doing that.
Oh, I mean, and he did. Well, technically, he did kill him multiple times in that book.
About 4, I think.
Yeah. So.
That just sounds like a lot of salt.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer this legit. I'm just kind of curious. If there were a character that you'd quite have, if you were in James's position, it's like, oh, they said, right, you have carte blanche. There is you want to write this novel and kill a character off? Go for it. Who's on your hit list?
Karn. He killed my waifu. He must pay.
I don't know. I don't actually dislike any of the characters. Actually, you know what? You know who I'd want to kill? The Emperor.
Oh my God!
Look, you're giving me free reign.
Oh yeah, I'm giving you carte blanche. I didn't expect you to end the bloody universe. Jesus Christ.
Nah, look, I already ended one. I may as well end 2.
My God.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm not allowed to talk very often.
To be fair, you could have just been lying. I said you didn't have to answer legit, so...
No, that's not a lie. I really would kill the Emperor.
But would he come back as the Star Child?
Perpetual twist.
See, what I would do is leave it open to interpretation as to whether he came back or not.
So would the Astronomicon still be working then?
I'd have it flicker like a bug light.
Yep.
Just flicker on and off.
Right. Get this on paper because this needs pitching. Now.
Oh no! See, by because I've said it now, I've already received an email that goes, "No, you're not doing that ever."
Well, to be fair,
It's just it's an email with a picture from TTS. No.
I get a lot of those emails.
Stop it. You can't do this. I'm pretty sure every time I talk to Remleiz, he says the same thing.
no. In between belts of, oh, for God's sake, Alexis.
That's you who says that, not me.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
I like how you don't deny that you shoot me down.
Well, no, because sometimes you say something legit and sometimes you say something stupid, and so that usually...
Hey, I have never said anything stupid in my entire life.
Apart from that.
And this. But anyway, going back to the Astartes thing, the new men, how to do this to rub more salt in everything forever.
Oh.
If they breed, would they pass on their genetic traits, i.e. being superhuman, to their offspring?
Yeah, because if they're a new man...
Clone Lord.
Say what?
Have you not read Clone Lord?
I am still in the process of reading it.
They do. They do pass on their genetic traits.
So they're as big and tough as an Astartes.
They're not as big as tough as Astartes.
Okay.
It takes basically they're pack hunters. 4 or 5 of them can bring down a space marine.
Basically, a space marine. Space marines are bear, and the Glanhounds are wolves.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, the analogy I nearly said they are to a space marine what a space marine is to a custodian, but that would be very harsh on the custodians.
Yeah. Yeah, they do pass on their traits, but Bile is still tweaking their traits even as they pass on their genetic abilities.
So here you go, everybody that wants to do a female space marine homebrew.
Alexis.
That's how you do it.
Actually,
I said homebrew.
Yeah.
I did not say canon.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I haven't had a chance to read Clone Lord, but do you think has Bile implanted a kill switch? Because if the new men are allowed to breed on their own, they breed their own traits and personalities through evolution. That's just science.
Can I actually just make a joke really quickly that only some people will get? It's the lysine deficiency.
Oh, God.
Who actually gets that?
I don't.
I do.
Yeah.
That is a Jurassic Park reference.
Ugh.
You are welcome.
But if the new men can breed and create their own, breed their own traits and they'll create personalities, there is a chance that they'll come to resent Bile as their creator because things turn on their creators, see every sci-fi plot involving genetic splicing and robotics ever.
Yeah, it's almost like that's a subplot built into the series.
Yeah, so does Bile have a kill switch ready? Because generally this is a man who plans for literally everything.
It has not been revealed whether he does or not. It's one of those things where it would be smart of him to have it, but at the same time, it kind of goes against his whole stated purpose.
And he's an arrogant little git.
Yeah, that too. It's in Clone Lord. There's actually a part mentioned where he sends the Glanhounds. It's a thing that happened before the book, where it's talked about how he sent the Glanhounds to wipe out another group of new men that had started to endanger his operations. And that he does cull them when they get a little too rambunctious or a little too uppity, I guess.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so he doesn't necessarily have something built in that'll kill him.
He just has his personal space wolves.
Yeah, basically. Almost like the Emperor, in fact.
Yeah, there's a lot of connections between Bile and the Emperor.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm a professional writer and I, thought about these things for...
Also, the end of that novel, what happened to the clone, that made me sad.
Really?
Yes, I felt sorry.
Really?
Yes.
For who?
Well, for Bile. I felt sorry for Bile. It's like,
No, really? Seriously? You felt...
yeah, I did, yeah.
How can you feel sorry for anyone in the Emperor's Children? I mean, I'm biased, but
I do.
like, I don't like any of them. Like, Lucius is top of my personal kill list, to go back to that. So, like, how? I mean, obviously, that's just testament to good writing. If you can feel sorry for bloody Fabius Bile.
You know what? I was just making crap up as I went along, so I can't really say anything to that.
Well, yeah, you haven't made anything up.
You know that whole thing where I said I was a professional writer and I actually thought about stuff for 10 minutes? That's a lie.
I nearly made the Malys Lucas reference, but thought better of it, so I'm glad you did.
Yeah, no, I don't think about this stuff. So, if it's there, good for you. You found it.
In fairness, it wasn't as much of a shock to the system as was reading, about the Patriarch of Cain. Like, what? It was, don't get me wrong, it was a good twist, but it's like, huh, I did not see that coming. And silence.
Number 40k, where literally anything can happen.
Yeah.
Asterisk.
Anyway, moving on to the next question. Question for Reynolds. After reading the story Hunter's Snare, and surprised by how much respect Khazra Khan had for Shadow Sun, I'm curious on how you would think he would react to the idea of Shadow Sun pulling a Horus on the Tau Empire, as the podcast group brings up on the last episode.
He'd back her all the way.
Yeah, he'd probably laugh about it.
He'd back her all the way,
Yeah.
I reckon. Because, quite frankly, let's think about it. Because Khazra and Shadow Sun are, in their own sort of way of looking at it, they're two sides of the same. No, they're the same side of two different coins. I always get that analogy wrong. They're the same side of two different coins. They are hunters. They understand each other as far as a Space Marine and Filthy Xenos can. So if Shadow Sun made her intention known to go and take out the core of the Tau Empire, why wouldn't the Imperium jump at the opportunity to wipe the Tau Empire and then wipe their rebels? Because I would back her all the way because, he gets it and he'd probably be a very useful ally in dealing with the initial war, and then they'd have their ultimate climatic boss fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Eldrad comes along saying, no, this won't stop chaos.
I'm Eldrad, listen to me. Why doesn't anybody just listen to me?
At which point he gets the fusion blaster in the gut and the Moondragon to the face. No, Moondragon's the bike, hang on. Actually, no, Moondragon to the face works.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, if everybody just listened to Eldrad when he started talking,
Things would be a lot better.
Yeah, a lot of the problems would have just gone away. Hey, Fulgrim, your brother, he turned to chaos. Really? Yeah, you should probably go deal with him. Huh. Wait, can you show me this in some kind of psychic vision? Yeah, here you go. Oh, wow, look at that. Shows up. Horus is not expecting me at all. Neat. Ba-boom. Hey, Dad, I solved the Horus heresy. You're welcome.
Yeah, Fulgrim's betrayal was pathetic. Sorry.
Hey, no, it wasn't. It was an amazing story. Shush your face.
Maybe it's well written in terms of the long wind, but the long wind might be well written, but the long and short, the brief summary, he was shown by Eldrad, he didn't believe it, he went to confront Horus about it, he turned traitor.
In fairness, it was better than the second edition summary when Fulgrim went to see Horus and Horus just gave him some drugs and he was like, okay, I'll join you.
The 80s.
Well, this was the 90s.
Oh god, 90s, oh god, maybe not so excusable.
It was that mope stuff that's really powerful. Anyway, next question. Question for all. What are your guys' opinions on homebrew rules? For things not currently on the tabletop, things not currently present on the tabletop, and then they go into examples. I'm actually against homebrew rules outside of narrative gameplays because people tend to mix those up with and not properly playtest them, so they become broken really, really, really quickly.
Yeah, you play them for bleeps and giggles with your mates, and that's it.
Yeah.
Personally, I do miss the 4th edition Space Marine Codex, where you got to build your own actual character and work from there. And in the newer editions, they kind of got rid of that. And the newest edition, they completely got rid of any customization. But that's just me pissing and moaning about 8th edition.
Hey, they gave you customizable Land Raiders back.
No, they didn't. They gave you
Chapter
4
approved.
Okay. They give you 4 options.
And also a build sheet.
I don't have the build sheet, or I never looked at it because it's open play and nobody plays open play.
I've got chapter approved in front of me. Let me just double check I've got that right before I look like a complete melt.
I have mine packed up for Nova. I have done mine packed up.
Yep, you can do it however you like. You've got options.
Huh. I don't think anybody has ever done it. Question for the comments. Has anybody ever made their own custom Land Raider? And if so, how the hell do you run it without it being broken?
It's open play. It's designed to be broken.
Open play is such a bad idea.
Open play is a great idea. It's just nobody likes it because everyone's either a hyper-competitive arse or a narrative lover. There's just no room for the meme strats in the middle. Because open play is the home of the meme strat.
Open play is a bad idea.
Actually, yeah, now that I say it, the home of the meme strat, yeah, it's a bad idea.
Do the Emperor's Children have any war bands that broke off from them? Yes, they do.
Yeah, the entire Legion splintered after Scalathrax.
Yeah, although they are slowly getting back together thanks to Fabius Bile.
Mostly because they hate him.
So it's not because of Bile reuniting them, it's literally everybody else versus him.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't see a problem with this.
No, I don't either. Bile's a dick, but
He's the most likable of the Emperor's children.
that's not saying much.
Hey, that is not true. That dude that followed that what's it? Kion and Abaddon's friend, not the berserker with the heavy bolter, the other one who's
The one who was reprogrammed.
I liked him. He was neat.
He was reprogrammed.
Caesaron from the Heresy was okay. The first captain was all right, I guess.
Oh, Sol Tarvids. Can't forget him.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Tarvitz. Can't forget Tarvitz. Tarvitz was awesome. But yeah, once you get to the Horus Heresy, the Emperor's Children just go off a cliff in terms of likability.
Oh, and there was also the one who stood at the buffet table with his tiny little plate.
Free Heresy doesn't count.
It was still adorable, though.
Not saying it wasn't.
I still think more adorable things like that need to happen in 40k.
We do try
Just
and spin where we can.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like an unofficial Easter egg / inside joke quotient that you try and meet.
My books are like 75 to 80% jokes that then get trimmed down in editing.
I'm just imagining the editor is like, oh, look, this is a nice book. Who is it by? Oh, okay. And then they get yours. It's just a stack of sticky notes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Didn't Aaron Dembski-Bowden in Master of Mankind fit in a reference to that blue dress, white dress meme thing?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
They couldn't tell if the mist was blue or gold. That was really funny. Because they're talking about the mist in the webway.
Yeah, Aaron is sort of like who I think of as Mr. Inside Joke because we think he made a kitten reference at the same time.
He also said, I Cantos Sicarius. Was it him that did that?
Not sure.
Anyway, moving on to the next question. Has there ever been a person or people in the Dark Age of technology that would have recovered in the 41st millennium?
Wait, say that again, sorry? You kind of fry off your words.
Has there ever been a person or people from the Dark Age of technology that would have been recovered in the 41st millennium?
Well, if
So do you mean like a race that survived through?
They're saying by cryogenic freezing, warp shenanigans, and other shenanigans like that.
Okay, so a race that did a mini Necrons. Got it.
I mean, I kind of agree with Odin. I kind of agree with Josh. That if they did, they're just not around. It's you stay quiet, you stay alive.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if they survived and saw everything, why would they show themselves or interact with the galaxy at large?
And to be fair, if they shut themselves away in cryo, etc., and didn't see it, and they woke up, it was just like one of those days where, you know, when you get that really, really bad snow, like Brits particularly, you'll know what I mean when I say this, and also certain parts of America, when you get absolutely terrible weather and you just wake up in the morning, you got to look out the window and say, nope.
Oh, like when you hit with nor'easters 3 days and freaking 3 storms in a row. Yeah, New York sucks. I can't wait to move to Arizona and never see a snowflake again. There's 2 jokes in there. Anyway. Would it have been possible for the old gods of Earth to form in the warp, and what would happen to them if Slaanesh, and what would have happened to them if when Slaanesh was born? Pretty sure the Earth incarnation of gods would have been small warp entities at best, and then immediately devoured.
I have a video coming up to this in a few weeks as well, so stay tuned. It involves Magnus the Red. So that's that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're referring to.
Yep.
Don't think I'm wrong on that one.
No, you're probably right. Just minor warp entities maybe eventually consumed by the rising power of Khorne, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and Nurgle.
Yeah.
Could a retired custodian become a planetary governor?
Yes. Why not?
But why
Hang
would
on.
he?
I thought planetary governor was a hereditary position.
Are you going to say no to a custodian?
Well, he's not technically
Yeah,
a custodian anymore. He's retired. He's just a big bloke.
Rank it. That would be like saying like no. I can't say that no soldier's ever pulled the "I was in the war" card to get somewhere. That would be very rude and that's wrong. But in the 41st millennium, I could see a custodian like, you don't know what you're doing. My old boss was on the Senatorium Imperialis. Leave it.
Yeah.
I got this.
But at the same time, a retired custodian's not going to have his weapons or armor, so basically a planetary governor could look at him and think, you're absolute loony. Kill him for heresy.
And then he'll kill the entire household.
Maybe.
A custodian without his spear could probably take half a squad of Space Marines in full armor. Without anything, he could easily take a household of humans.
And then he'd be potentially a wanted man for the unlawful execution of a planetary governor.
I would still love to see an arm wrestling competition between an Ogryn and a custodian.
Also, random snippet, did you know that the custodians never lose?
What?
According to the Administratum, it is heresy / illegal to record the custodians as losing.
Oh, that's bad.
So potentially it could be even worse than we thought. I just now got this image of do you remember the jokes about the Iraqi information minister from several years ago? Like, we're winning the war, don't worry about America getting closer to our capital, we're still winning. That's basically one thing that's happening with the custodians right now.
To be fair, the custodians very, 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 very rarely lose in the plot. But, yeah.
You can imagine them working with the Dark Angels, and Dark Angels is just like, wow, these guys are terrible.
They know too much.
To be fair, the Dark Angels think everybody knows too much.
True.
And that nothing happened on Caliban.
Yeah.
I still love the idea that, like, the custodians actually do know about Cypher because they took him away and everything. And the custodians are just, like, sitting there with them at tea. So, Cypher. And the Dark Angels just look at them with their eyes, like, wide open. What? Yeah, you know, we had him in jail on Terra for a while, right? Yeah, he kind of told us everything.
Kind of told us everything. It's not that bad. I don't know what you guys have been, what your problem's been.
Yeah, I mean, homeworlds get destroyed all the time, dude. This is nothing. Like, what? You attacked the Inquisition a few times? Whatever. Everybody has.
Yeah, like the Space Wolves should have been exterminated about 8 times for attacking the Inquisition. I mean, they had a literal Cold War with them.
And then Bjorn turned around and said, "Cut it out, you two."
Yep. Basically, Bjorn said cut it out, and then there was a fight, and a Grey Knight Grandmaster died, and an Inquisitor died, and the Inquisition naffed off.
I still love it. The Dark Angels just didn't really do anything that bad to justify the secrecy.
Well, that's the point, though. The point is that because the secrecy has become a tradition. It's become a thing in and of itself.
Though, to be fair... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I mean, that's the whole... That's why it's grimdark, you know? They've turned something small... They've turned a molehill into a mountain.
And to be fair, though, to the Dark Angels, if you are the Dark Angels and the heresy has literally just happened, and X% of your legion, which could have been up to a half, has just gone traitor on you, and you've had a massive civil war on your homeworld, I can completely understand why they'd cover it up. Completely.
Yeah, but could you imagine if they just, told one of their brothers, man, this whole shit went down, Horus actually got to my homeworld, let's just blame everything on him.
I don't think Lion would be able to, considering that's when he, quote-unquote, died, quote-unquote.
And Horus was already dead by that point.
Yeah, you guys think you had it bad on this van? Half our legion ran away.
So
what?
Half our legion turned traitor, then Jagatai Khan's sitting there going, "That's cute."
Yeah, and Korax is sitting and said, that's really cute.
Oh, wow, look at me, trying to get attention. Ooh, yeah, Lion, we get it, you're dark and mysterious.
Yeah, and Korax is like, I don't know what the Raven Guard's losses were and the Salamander's losses were on Ispan 5, but they were bad.
Well, with Raven Guard, only 5,000 remained afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Legion strength was 10,000, so...
No, their Legion
strength was more like 100.
It was 50,000, I think.
Most of them were up by 100.
Not all of them, from what I've seen. The Raven Guard were one of the...
Like I say, I don't know if all, the Raven Guard... actually, I might have that number. You guys talk, give me 2 minutes.
I'm pretty sure it's 50,000. So I know the Ultramarines were 200,000 or something.
We're the Ultramarines. We make every single successor chapter.
It doesn't matter that we got the gene seed of, 2 other Primarchs in this
80.
Legion. Oh, 80. Okay.
In the aftermath of Gate 42, they were 80,000 strong.
Yeah, and only 5,000 of them survived Istvan.
I had 3 written down, but I'll take 5.
All right, next question. Question for Reynolds. Where did a lot of your inspiration of writing Fabius Bile come from?
Peter Cushing in the Hammer Frankenstein films.
I could actually see that. Yeah.
That's literally it. It's Peter Cushing from the Frankenstein films.
Yep.
Yeah. There's no in-depth answer to that. He's a
Please tell me if you've drawn inspiration from that. Please tell me there is an "It's Alive" moment somewhere.
Well, no, because that's what's his name? That's the Universal.
Oh,
Frankenstein.
right. Sorry,
Peter Cushing never actually says "It's alive."
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't realize which one was which. My bad.
Yeah, there's differences. I could go into it if you want.
Unfortunately, I think our audience might give up before we get there.
They're all too young.
So if you guys want to know more about Fabius Bile, read that book.
Yeah.
Question, do you guys like iron hands? I kind of prefer fleshy hands. They're more fun.
Haha. I'm kind of indifferent to them. I mean, there are some things about them that are pretty cool. Like some certain characters, like, Shadrach Medusan, he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shame he dead now, but hey.
When has death ever stopped anybody in 40k?
Touche.
Whilst the Lost Primarchs.
The Iron Hands pre-heresy, pre-all of it, were fine, just kind of there. During the heresy, they didn't really do much because they were all dead, and Manus came across like a massive idiot. And then post-heresy, I don't know, they're just kind of, again, just kind of there.
In all fairness, he was just a giant idiot.
Well, he did catch a particle beam in midair and crush it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, physics brain hurts.
It was stupidly awesome, I think is the correct term. Because he literally says, this guy says, I will be your death, and Manus is I doubt it. And then beats the piss out of him.
Ferrus Manus, nuh-uh. Do it, you won't.
Oh, we're going to have Rogel Dawn. No.
My normal comm Demeter was cracked.
Compromised.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
You never get that line right.
Yeah, I feel I don't know if every Primarch has one of those quiet put down lines, but I get the feeling some of them have got some really good ones.
The Lion, shh, go to sleep now. Ironic.
Oh no, that'd be Kurz's. That would be Kurz's line.
No, Kurz's is It's Raining Men after that audio drum that just came out, where he starts dumping corpses onto the capital city.
It's raining men.
That was hilarious.
Honestly, I'm sorry, Remleiz. That Legion is just pure comedy. They are just hilarious. They are the edgiest of edgelords, and I imagine each one of them as a 16-year-old emo kid.
Now, Alexis, you keep forgetting. The Raven Guard are emo, the Night Lords are goths. Get it right.
The Night Lords were literally the criminal scum of the galaxy-ish.
Yeah, but what kind of goths?
You know, the ones that hang around graveyards and try and summon Satan while drinking blood, which is actually tomato juice.
You don't know your differences in goths. Shame. Anyway, moving on to
I'm
the
hardly going to be talking difference between trad goth, romantic goth, and neo goth and cyber goth and that kind of thing. Because I don't think a lot of people in the comment section will understand the differences either.
I don't.
I do.
I mean, I don't think Kurz is going to be the one who backcombs his hair, and listening to Christian Death, is he?
I could see it.
See, I know much.
This Seeker is missing its claw. That's so weird. Anyway, moving on to the next question. It kind of seems unfair that Michael is the only one lacking a proper shipping.
I can't believe you brought this up, you ass.
It's one of the few questions.
I thought his ship was with Lilith Hesperax.
That is the 2 people in my live stream chat. That's it. Get out.
But the question is, can love bloom?
You're missing everything, and I want you to keep it that way.
Okay, a shipping is basically like a waifu. Are you familiar with that?
I think he knows what shipping is.
No, I don't really.
Oh, right,
Okay.
fine.
A shipping is when you have romantic interest in a character, and/or stories are written about you in said character in a pseudo-comical way.
See the Guilliman Ivrain Thanksgiving meme, if you really want an example.
No, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
That was the one that Gav said was canon.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gav's up on this stuff. He's down with the cool kids, I guess. Man, I've got to start paying attention to things.
I'm sure. Actually, let me see if I can find it. I'll link it in, and maybe that will. I'll drop it in the group chat. Maybe that'll help. Actually, is that a good idea? No, that's not a good idea.
No, that's not a good idea. No.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Okay. I personally think you should be shipped with some kind of crazy Tau person. It'd be weird.
We're moving on now.
Or a crew.
And we're moving on now.
What if you need is an evolution of Slanesh?
That is actually a canonical theory. There are some Eldari who are not Inari who believe that Iniad is Slanesh 2.0.
Well, just look at the Incarnate. It looks like Slanesh.
And
No,
the
other way around. Slanesh looks like the Eldar, because Slanesh devoured the Eldar and took their form.
But what I was going to sort of append to that is the Inari act in a way that, for those who are literally that old and remember, the way the old Eldari Empire used to act, so aloof, so superior, and then they just see history repeating itself. So that's genuinely a canon theory held by some of the Eldari.
And let's be honest, when the Drukhari are saying, bit much, you might be doing something a little bit wrong.
Yeah, if the Drukhari ever say too much, then your name is probably Fabius Bile.
Yeah.
I still love when I'm pretty sure this is actually what's going to be happening in the book the next Bile book, but the 13 Scars beat down was just brilliant.
Yep. That the third book's gonna have a lot of that in it. Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, because they basically said that the homunculi made sure that Bile could never speak of what he learned again.
Yeah.
That's how it sort of said. Therefore, they either wiped part of his memory, which doesn't make sense because he can still do everything he could do before. They could have blocked his memory, but that could be overwritten. They can't have literally sewed his mouth shut because that doesn't make sense either. So what did they do?
Wow, it's almost like I'm going to write a book about that.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's one of the questions I'm very curious to have answered. And also, how the hell are you going to write the Tower of Flesh?
Yeah, it's going to be unpleasant.
I hope the Kraken's in there.
Kraken's the most popular character I've ever written. Doing a whole story series.
Oh my god, yes. All right, next question. Could the Alpha Legion be worshippers of Malys? No.
Remleiz said no amazes me.
Well, because I read Sons of the Hydra, and the leader of that war band's worshipping the Emperor, so...
Question for Reynolds. How much to the authors, the model designers... Okay, I'm going to rearrange this question so that it makes more sense. Do you guys essentially talk to the model designers, or is it completely separate? Like, the Black Library writers, the codex writers who interpret the writing, and then the models who interpret the codex. Is that how it goes, or is there a special pattern to it?
I think it depends on the writer. I write what's in the codex. So I don't have any input or any contact with the game writers or the model designers or anything like that.
Yeah, I've heard tell of talking between writers and designers on certain key figures. I can't think of names. Seb Herbert comes to mind as someone who's done it. I am not of the level that I get to do that. So, like I said, I'm really low down on the totem pole.
All right, fair enough. Okay, this one mentions Slaanesh, so I'm going to read the question to myself really quickly.
Actually, while Alexis reads the question, do you get to see see or have an input on the artwork, like the cover art that goes with your stuff? Do you get an input or a look over of that, or is that just done by the team and then just put on a shelf?
Both. Sometimes they will ask me to describe a character or describe a scene for the artist, and sometimes I don't have any input whatsoever.
Isn't it ADB that actually draws stick figures with fire and everything, and he's just make it this?
Yeah, pretty much. He's he pays attention to that stuff a lot more than I do. So I'm mostly of the okay, I've written a book, I've edited it, pay me. And I think about it again until it comes out, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, you need to talk about this book," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll try and remember what I wrote." Yeah.
Oh my god, that is terrific! I love it. Okay, moving on. There seems to be conflicting information on whether Custodes or the Thunder Warriors were stronger.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious that the Thunder Warriors were stronger but unstable. And
than the Custodians?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way round. I knew the Thunderers were better than the Astartes.
But I mean, it's also one of those things. It's what do you mean by stronger? Do you mean physically stronger? The Thunder Warriors are probably physically stronger because they're basically a bunch of steroid rage machines.
Oh, and here's a question about the custodians. There is no surgical implantment in them. It's all done by just biomancy, is it not?
Yes, according to Horus Heresy Book 7, yes. It's all biomancy.
Yeah, I just go space magic, so yeah. It's all space magic.
Although I will say, with regard to that question, welcome to Warhammer 40,000, the world of conflicting information.
Yeah.
I was like to imagine someone just goes, "Skedaddle Skadoodies, you're now a Custodes."
Yeah.
You were waiting for that, weren't you?
Not really.
So Remleiz is actually good at off-the-cuff weird ones. He doesn't sit on them for that long.
Is it possible for a powerful Psyker to summon the Legion of the Damned?
Not to our knowledge.
They just turn up, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, do they just turn up? Are they their own thing? Are they actually ghosts? Depends on what definition.
Well,
you know?
if I remember reading, I might have read it wrong and misinterpreted information, but after they saved the Phalanx from Honsu, Bellicor, et al., they were also on the Phalanx when it came to Cadia, which implies they stuck around.
They did.
Yeah, and ghosts can stick around.
Yeah, but that is such a not Legion of the Damned thing. What happened on the warp ride to Cadia?
What happened was there was a Legion of the Damned who was formerly an Imperial Fist said, "I am haunting this position."
All right, I am done. That was good.
You've just won the internet.
I would actually like to see more, and I know this is going to sound weird, character development with the Legion, or at least the way the Dark Angel books are written, where the Dark Angels are not the protagonists of their own books.
Yeah, the one I... Well,
sorry, can you carry on?
The one I remember is the book Legion of the Damned, that I think, and might have been an Annandale book, with the Excoriators. It was whose?
It was Rob Sanders.
Sanders, that's the one, sorry. With the Excoriators and Zachariah Kirsch and the Holocaust. Because the Legion of the Damned literally showed up for about 2 chapters at the end. Yeah. And they were badass.
I tell you who would like to see get some development. Does anyone else remember Sergeant Centurius of the Legion of the Damned?
Yep, I had that model.
Can we have a novel about him, please?
You have to ask somebody other than me.
Oh.
Are there any? Here's a question for you. Are there any suggestions that you pitch to Black Library?
Yeah, all the time.
And do they have a good hit rate?
Fabius Bile series was a suggestion. Lucas the Trickster was a suggestion.
Off a bet.
Yeah, off a bet. Most of my stuff is off of a bet, or just because I made a joke at the wrong time. I mean, stuff like Fulgrim, the Palatine Phoenix, was just me going, I want to write a Primarch book. And them going, do you want to write Fulgrim? And me going, yeah, sure, why not? Most of
I'm glad you did.
Sigmar stuff is suggestions. Other than the Realmgate Wars stuff for Age of Sigmar, everything else I've written for Age of Sigmar has been pretty much me going, hey, I want to write this.
Yeah,
this would be neat.
Although, to be fair, you could say to an extent, like, Nick Kime is the Salamanders guy. In a way, I know you didn't write Lucius, but you're almost turning into the Emperor's Children guy now that you've done Fulgrim, Palatine Phoenix, and Bile. Like, before long, you're going to be the Emperor's Children guy.
I think Chris Wraight and Graham McNeil have me beat.
True, McNeil did write, and Wraight, one of the two of them, did write Fulgrim.
Yeah. And I mean, Chris Wright's written about him a lot for the Heresy.
Valid.
Yeah. Like, I'm not one of those guys that gets stuck with... I'm not one of those guys that hogs one chapter, you know? Mostly because a lot of times I just kind of go, hey, I want to write a book. Tell me what to write. And that's how I end up doing a lot of things. You know, what are you going to pay me to do? And they go, okay, well, I'll pay you to do this. And I go, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm not yeah, I'm a hack. That's pretty much what
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm a hack.
To be fair, if you can write material that good as a hack, then fair play.
Yeah. It's nice of you to say that it's good.
Well, I mean, it got you invited on this podcast. What more can we say?
I just assumed someone canceled. That's what? I just assumed somebody better canceled.
No.
Oh my god. Okay, question for Reynolds. What is it like writing a Primarch, writing about a Primarch other than a 40k character?
It was interesting. I had to kind of remember that Primarchs were supposed to be these big Greek demigod type characters. I don't tend to do well with big characters. You know, I like small characters that can't really do anything and spend a lot of their time talking. So
Fulgrim was perfect.
Well, you know, I had to remember that he was a Primarch so he could do big things. You know, he could take down an airship by himself and, you know, handle a nuclear weapon and all that kind of stuff.
So of all the big characters that suit that, the Primarchs are best for it because they are these absolute murder machines.
Yeah.
But even the Angrons of this world have incredibly deep personalities, and you can spend a lot of time on dialogue with them, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like to do is dialogue and character interaction and stuff. But with the Primarchs, with Fulgrim, I had to remember that he was a Primarch and he could just literally kill 150 people in an afternoon. You know.
Yeah. Or take a planet in 3 months.
Yeah. So.
How did the Black Library editors react when you put a reference to one of the lost Primarchs in that story?
Oh god, I bet that went down so well.
You know, I'm gonna spoil something for people. That was not my idea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
That was actually an idea by Laurie Golding.
Part of me is not shocked by that. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the missing Primarchs or anything. And he sent me a little note saying, "Hey, you could make a mention of them if you wanted." And I went, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Can I describe them?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of, no." They're like, mention them, but don't describe them or talk about them in any way. But mention them.
So, hey, it's my brother who leads the 2nd Legion. Let's never mention him again.
Yeah, pretty much.
All of my brothers are here, especially that one. I hope nothing happens to him.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is at the time frame of the book, that Primarch would be there.
Yeah, Fulgrim had just been found, and he was mid to early on the list.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
That's why that it's Guilliman or Guilliman or whatever however you pronounce that dude's name.
Robe Booty Guilliman.
Guilliman.
No, it's Robe Booty Guilliman.
Robert.
Just call him Papa Smurf if you're stuck.
Yeah, big blue dude. He's the one that's just been found. So it's only like 4 or 5 of them, and one of them is the second. So
yeah, because it went Horus, Russ, second, Fulgrim, Guilliman. Ish.
I think.
I know it was Horus, Russ, second. After that, my memory goes a bit hazy.
I think Ferris was in there as well, but I mean,
yeah.
I think Fulgrim was found, and then Fulgrim's apparently spent like a century with Horus.
Yeah, Fulgrim was with Horus for a while. I do remember that. It'd be interesting if they ever came to you or you decided to pitch writing modern Fulgrim and see how he plays off the old one.
That would be interesting. I was thinking about trying to do something like that in the 3rd Fabius book before I kind of decided that it didn't need to be a part of the story. So.
Fair.
So we're not exactly going to get an instance where we get Demon Fulgrim against Clone Fulgrim in a fight.
Not at the moment, no.
So long as it involves a Kraken, I'm okay with it.
Nor do I say we'll get a moment where hopefully Demon Fulgrim goes, so you remember when I cured the Blight? Because that's a complete plot hole right now, I think.
What is?
If I remember it right, Bile had the Blight that was, blighting the Emperor Children Gene Seed. He was sacrificing loyal, pure brothers to keep himself alive by submitting their Gene Seed instead of his. And then he went to Fulgrim about it, because his conscience got the better of him. I know, Bile had a conscience. And then all of a sudden it was never mentioned again. And then 10,000 years later, Bile's still around.
Yeah. That's not a plot hole. That's a subplot.
It's never mentioned again. And it's like, did Demon Fulgrim cure it?
Why do you think that Fulgrim keeps Bile around?
I thought he didn't.
Oh.
In the Heresy. Look at the Heresy books. All of the cure of the Blight happened before the Heresy books happened.
That's true. It basically, they restocked the Emperor's Children entirely after Fulgrim was found, and Bile just got left SOL.
Yeah. So you'll notice that Bile is pretty much Fulgrim's, sidekick.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So, and did you never wonder why that was? That he would just had a random apothecary, a lieutenant commander, hanging out with him? How weird that was.
I'm bad at my job.
Fabius Bile was hanging. Huh? Yeah? No? Just...
Yeah, I'm bad at my job. All right, I get it.
Yeah. The subplot, man. It's
important. Fabius is awesome.
Well, he's not awesome.
He went from being one of my least liked Emperor's Children to somebody that I immediately included in my Slaanesh army.
He still needs a new model, though.
Yeah.
He's had the same model since 1996.
Because you can't improve on a classic.
This is one of them that needs the improvement the least. It's still usable compared to some.
Yeah, I mean, Abaddon's is the one that needs the most in need of an update.
Right now.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm pretty sure the designers don't want to.
So, who's going to blink first? The Abaddon design team or the Plastic Sisters design team?
No, there's the Plastic Thunderhawk team.
Question for Josh: How in depth does the books go into the character of Lucas the Trickster while translating into current lore?
Well, it's not current. It's set at the beginning of Lucas's career when he loses his heart.
I lost my heart once.
I mean, it's not current. It's basically an origin story for Lucas.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't write anything current. Everything I write is set in the past.
Yeah, given that you didn't even know the current what was happening, I'm not surprised.
It's I'm still not sure it happened. People talking about Cadia blowing up. What? When did that happen?
In the expanded universe.
Oh God.
I don't. Is Eldar running around bringing Primarchs back? I don't know what's going on. I remember the days Rogue Trader. Damn it.
Oh God, he's channeling his inner Remleiz.
Oh.
That's a point. Will you ever mention something that's previously only been mentioned in Rogue Trader era fluff in any of your future novels? Kind of like what Nick Kime did in Old Earth when Eldrad fought a Slan.
I actually have mentioned stuff from Rogue Trader. In the Fabius Bile novels and a couple of short stories.
I bet there must be moments you must send it sometimes to the editors, and the editors will be reading it, and they'll find one of those Rogue Trader references, and there'll be someone young like me and Alexis, and they'll just go, what?
Yeah.
I've read the Rogue Trader books.
Well, you know what I mean, though? Somebody who's not from that era or hasn't read everything and just goes, what the heck? And actually goes and finds, your Graham McNeil's and just Graham, what is he on about? Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, why is there a flying blue baby? And yes, that's a thing. It's people who don't realise.
You know, it's one of those things you have to. You can't do it too often because you have to figure out something that fits with the current status of the lore.
Yeah, you have to balance the plot versus Easter egg.
Yeah.
So you're like picking and choosing things from Rogue Trader that become re-canon again, I guess?
Pretty much, yeah.
Does that mean
Okay.
we could have the return of Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau?
No. Fuck no.
Yeah, that's kind of a giant walking. Hopefully Disney and Disney and Star Wars won't notice.
That's a giant walking lawsuit. That's what that is.
You just call him
also
Inquisitor
dumb.
Clouseau.
That's still a lawsuit.
It's also so goddamn stupid.
Thank you. I just see
Jesus.
Remleiz right now with the biggest frown on his face.
It is. It's dumb. I've done some dumb things, but that.
Well, the original days of Rogue Trader, the game was not taken seriously at all, and it was essentially a ripoff off of everything else that was made at the time.
Yeah. Which is why it was so funny.
Like
Yeah,
one
like-
image of a space marine dipping a biscuit in his tea.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? That's good stuff. That's good background.
Oh my god, this is terrific. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting my mic.
This is why I'm not invited on podcasts.
All right, let's try to get some last questions in here. If you were to ever come up with another Space Marine game, we answer this one all the time.
Yeah, sometimes we do get questions like about video games and alternate universes and stuff. It's just like, if you have the time, go back and watch the last 88 hours of podcasts, because we've pretty much hit 80 hours at this point.
I like this one. What made you start doing the Adeptus Podcastus? What was the inspiration? Remleiz randomly came to us and was like, hey, let's do a podcast. It'll be
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
What is the best starter army for a complete beginner? Necrons.
Space Marines.
Necrons. Less war gear, easier things to manage, no vehicle really, and then you can get into more upgraded things. But Primaris Marines would be.
Yeah, I was going to say, Primarchs Space Marines were, I think, designed to be the pick up and play army.
Dark Angels or Space Wolves? I go Dark Angels.
Oh, I don't know. Like, my Thousand Suns brain is hard coded to hate the Space Wolves, but I don't like the Dark Angels either.
The answer's simple. Night Lords.
Oh yeah, I think the Night Lords are written in the O. You're good. And how are you guys doing? Doing great.
Yeah, it's been good.
All right. Let's see. That's a question about bacon. Not really important.
Bacon's always important.
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
Can you? All right. This is a really important question, especially for you, Josh.
Oh no, it's a meme. It's whenever Alexis says this, it's a meme.
This is your question.
This is a meme.
Could the Ultramarines outdance Harlequins at stripping?
Yeah, memes.
Yeah.
There it is. That's canon.
Just to clarify, do you watch If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device?
No. Is that a podcast?
It's an internet 40k parody show. And
Oh,
it's,
wait, is it that thing with the Emperor has a weird voice and he's talking to a centurion or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Oh yeah, I've seen like one or two of those.
That's what that's in reference to.
I thought it was in reference to the old picture from Rogue Trader of Space Marines dancing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm straight text-to-speech because I'm not cultured.
It's a reference to both because that Space Hulk third-party supplement got referenced in an episode of TTS.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, I watched I watched 1 or 2 episodes of that. That was funny.
I feel like you'd fit right in with some of the stuff that you could come up with. I feel like you'd fit right in.
Yeah, it's that requires a certain sense of humor that I don't know if I could sustain.
I feel like it has been referenced in a few books, like with Vulcan being overly huggy, and then Nick kind of made Vulcan want to hug Rogel Dawn. I just couldn't help but I just couldn't help but think of like, brother, let me hug you. Crush.
Yeah, the other writers are much more up on fan culture and this kind of stuff than I am. I literally do not pay attention to anything that does not get me a paycheck, really. I'm busy, I got a job, you know. I'm a horrible person, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Considering that Eldars turn to crystals as they age, are there sources of various viruses that turn you into glass?
Yeah, the glass virus.
The Hex Rifle has it.
It's a piece of war gear.
Yeah, it's a homunculi Hex Rifle, I think.
Yeah. It was in the Dark Eldar Cycle books by Andy Chambers.
And I think it's also in their codices.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you referenced it in Lucas the Trickster as well.
I quite possibly did. I stole from a lot of things there.
With like Sliskus's garden or wherever it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. I did that.
Question for all. Can a clone Primarch be as powerful as the original since their soul may not be the same as their original one?
You do realize that the soul thing is just a fan controversy thing, right?
Yeah, that I've kind of known too. Because the cloned Abaddon in clone Horus in the Abaddon fight was an identical match to the original Primarch.
Yeah, the argument then becomes, would Abaddon have been able to actually beat the real Horus?
Yes.
And
in fairness, it wasn't so much Horus versus Abaddon, it was Horus versus all of Abaddon's lackeys, and then Horus just comes in and then just stabs him.
He stabbed him while he was distracted seeing Abaddon, too.
Yeah.
It's not a fight. It's Horus going, "Oh, Abaddon, there you are, my son," and Abaddon going, "Yeah, stab." While you're overcome with feelings, I'll stab you. That's, it wasn't a fight. It was throwing an army at a clone. The clone killed the army, and then while the clone was distracted with his feelings, Abaddon stabbed him.
It was a big pile of Whoopsie Goldberg.
Yeah. In Clone Lord, I said that and you can, whether you think this is canon or not, in Clone Lord, I had Fabius basically say that the Primarchs encode their memories in their DNA.
Muscle memory and things like that?
Well, yeah, but also like actual memory. So if you clone a Primarch, it's going to remember everything that Primarch remembered and knew.
Oh my god, please let Clone Fulgrim have a breakdown over Ferris. That would just be the best twist.
It kind of does, I'm sorry. Spoil this.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. He kind of has.
It would be cool to see, a clone Fulgrim come back, because he doesn't have the Lair Blade. He's not possessed by any demons or anything that are influencing him. If he comes back... No, if he, comes back to the Imperium and he's just I'm still loyal.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing about Ispan 5. If they played Ispan 5 without the Lair Blade, Ferris dies, Fulgrim snaps, and thinks, oh, crap, I don't know what to do anymore. He either lays down his life and just throws himself into the swords and dies, or he turns around and he charges Horus. Those are the two things that could have happened, and it'd be really hilarious.
Just remember, what happened in Gathering Storm? A whole bunch of Trajan's collection got loose.
Yep.
Oh, Christ. Oh, wait a minute. That means that we have a potential demon That's going to be the ultimate Inception match if Clone faces off against Demon Original. That would be fun.
I guess this is why people don't like me on the forums.
No, I'm groaning, but as a Lord Tuber, that's just fascinatingly fun. So for all I'm groaning, that is still hilariously good fun, and I love the theory.
Yeah.
It's like, a Primarch has returned. Who is it? Is it Russ? No, it's Fulgrim. What?
2 of him, in fact.
It's like, I'm seeing
Hey,
double.
you know Marathi?
It's like,
Get out!
I'm seeing double. 4 Fulgrims.
It turns out that Fabius didn't stop at 1. How many did he make? He made a legion of them.
Sorry.
The Legion of the Fabulous.
Oh my god.
And on that note, given the time that we have left, I think we should be wrapping up the questions right about now.
Actually, that was one of the last questions, so yeah.
Well, that was a thing that happened.
It was fun, though.
That was really good fun. Really informative if the people managed to stick with it, but yeah, really good fun.
I was amused greatly.
Indeed.
And I found a new spirit animal.
So, before we sign off, does anyone have any rants they want to get off their chest?
I don't have a rant per se, so I'll hang on for a minute.
I kind of wish I edited out the part where I said something really stupid, but I know it's going to be animated, so it's fine.
Don't you say that I do something like that that's anime worthy every single week at some point?
Yes, I do.
Ram?
No, I'm pretty much all good this week. Nothing to really moan or complain about, for once.
For once.
What about you, Josh? Got anything you want to get off your chest to moan about?
Anything from like a particular project that's been bothering you, or a project that you really wanted to do that got canned? I don't know at this point.
Not really. Frankly, I'm incredibly lucky to even still have a job at this point. So,
To be fair, I don't think any of the Black Library team watched this one, so I think we'll be fine.
Who knows? They tend to watch me like a hawk. So,
All right, did he say anything dumb? Yes. Damn it.
yeah. That's pretty much how it goes.
The entire Black Library team is watching this and going, Reynolds!
Yep.
Yeah, we'll wait for the emails. Just let us know if you get any angry emails and we'll put out an apology.
Oh, no. It won't be any emails. It'll just be a letter in the mail going, your services are no longer required.
Future endeavoured.
Yep.
If I may, a couple of quick-fire questions before we sign off, if I may.
Okay. Yeah.
On any No Object project, there was someone you would never write, even no matter what they paid you.
No.
Fair? Someone you'd take on for free, like dream project, dream character, dream battle, dream whatever.
No.
You don't have one?
No.
Fair?
Yeah. That's... Sorry.
No, I just wondered, really. So I thought there might have been a particularly an old hero from the fluff that got you into 40k in the first place that, like, I'd really like to write that person one day.
No, for me, this kind of stuff is weird because really what I want is to read about it. I don't necessarily have anything I want to write in particular. It's always, I hope that Dan or Aaron write this book.
Fair.
So I can read it, but I don't,
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite novel?
Black Library novel or just novel in general?
Either. Maybe both.
Favorite Black Library novel is Beasts in Velvet by Jack Evil / Kim Newman.
Okay.
From way back in Warhammer Fantasy.
Fair play.
Yeah. Favorite novel changes a lot. I'm strangely partial to Madame Bovary.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And what got you into 40k in the first place, if you can put a finger on it?
My father bought a copy of Rogue Trader at the local comic book store. And we played the Battle of the Farm with the little paper chits that came in the book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we realized that 40k had already been through like 3 other editions. When we Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not very interesting.
No, that's actually really it's quite a nice story to see. Some people, it's like, mine was my friend in the car on the way home from band practice stomped all over my favourite Pokemon with an Imperator Titan.
Well, that's one way to get you interested.
Yeah, back when I was like 10 or 11, I was a massive Pokemon nerd. And my friend was like, you know what, I want to show you what Warhammer is. So he told me about this Imperator Titan and just how it would utterly crush the legendary Pokemon of the day. And then he said, you know what, just go and look into it, or explained a bit more of it, and that was it. I was gone. 10 years later, here we are.
I was arguing with my fat friend during history class when he was trying to explain a chainsword. And I was like, that's just a chainsaw. And he's like, no, it has a hilt. It's a chainsword. And I'm like, no, that's just a chainsaw with a hilt. And then I saw a Space Marine, and I was like, neat, a gorilla in power armor.
Yeah.
And I got into it round edition 1.5 when a kid brought in a Citadel miniatures catalogue into school. And I've just thought all the models look really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. And on that bombshell?
Yes, that brings us to the end of this edition of the podcast. So, firstly, I just wanted to thank Josh Reynolds for being such a good sport in joining us today. And I hope you had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, real pleasure. Really informative and a really good laugh.
Hope it didn't get you fired.
Yeah, it's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
So, on that bombshell, thank you for everyone at home for listening in. This has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
This has been Tactica Imperialis.
And I'm Alexis.
And I'm Josh Reynolds.
Yay!
And we'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.